Hey guys, Janice Vaughn, letting your light shine. Thank you all so much for joining. Today what I wanted to talk about, I've had a lot of questions from people asking me, what are some of the early signs of narcissism that maybe I dealt with, that I ignored, or other signs that maybe other people deal with? So I put together a list of things that you may want to really focus on if you're getting into a new relationship. And I'm talking relationships that are brand new, and you know how they come in and they swoop you off your feet, and you know, before you know it, you're like in this relationship that you didn't even know how it started so quickly. So I wanted to talk about some of those things with you so that you all can be aware of some of these signs and some of these tricks and techniques that these narcissists do. Okay. So first, and this is really crucial, fast moving relationship. Okay. You guys know my story, and within a week, 2 weeks, he had moved in. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know how he went from having a room that he was renting from somebody to, you know, everything he owned in 2 suitcases was now at my house. And I'm like, how did that happen? Like, it went so fast. So, you want to be in a relationship where somebody has their own place. Okay. Somebody has their own home. Renting a room is not a problem, especially with the rent prices that are, you know, so high right now, especially here in Arizona. But, there's no reason, at least in my case, that a, 50-year-old man doesn't have his own place. I mean, it doesn't have to be a fancy home. Have your own apartment, have your own house that you rent, have your own casita. But renting a room, it's fine. But at that age, it's kind of like, yeah, you're just getting by until you find the next best thing. Okay. That's kind of how I'm looking at it now. Cause I'm like, well, no wonder he wanted to move in so quickly. You know, I have a beautiful home, and, you know, he had a bedroom he rented, and all of a sudden he was living in my house, and I just don't know. So when they try to move the relationship super fast, pump the brakes. That's a huge sign to pay attention, because they're trying to get into your life so quickly that you don't know what happened, as was the case with me. Okay. This is another one. They claim you are soulmates. They've never loved anybody else as much as they love you, or they adore you. They've never met somebody as special as you are. And you're the most, this is what I heard, you're the most amazing woman. I've never been so in love with anybody on this planet before. And, as a person, you're like, oh, that's so sweet. Now, with the education that I know and the crap that I endured for 6 years, I'm fully aware what that was. That was total gaslighting and manipulation. So, that ever happened to me again? Oh, it wouldn't happen to me again. I can tell you that much right now, because I've learned. So, and that's why I want to share all this stuff with you guys, because I learned by, watching videos myself. And so if I can help anybody get through some of these things, just be aware. Okay. The love bombing, obviously, overly attentive. Okay. I think I told you the story that, I gave him my debit card to fill up my gas tank because I was running short on time, but he ended up taking my debit card and he got gas, and I was very grateful for that. But he also went and took my car to get a car wash, and I'm grateful for that. However, this is a big however, I didn't tell him to get me a car wash. I said, just get me gas, please. And that was him just kind of going, oh, but look at me, look what I did. I got you a car wash. I'm really a good guy. Thinking about it now, I'm like, no, I would never use somebody's debit card other than what they wanted me to use it for. So if I was to go get gas for somebody, I was going to get gas, and that was it. But he came back and he's like, well, yeah. And I told him, I said, thank you for getting me a car wash. Well, that's just how I am. I'm just that nice guy. And I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I should have paid attention, but I didn't. So that was that. Okay. And this is another one. This, well, they're all huge, you guys. This is huge too. When these people talk negatively about their previous relationships, okay, they call their ex crazy, they call their ex ex's, family crazy. They call everybody crazy. That is something to really pay attention to, because you know what? People that want to talk about other people saying how crazy they are, they're usually crazy themselves. And I noticed a pattern with these narcissists. That's why they don't own up to anything, because they don't think they do anything wrong. So they're going to put the blame on everybody else. So yes, he talked incessantly about his ex and how horrible she was, and brainwashed the children and kept the children from him. And you guys, that's not the case. That is not the case. And I've seen this stuff so many times where you just start really paying attention, because in a normal conversation with somebody, you might have a bad ex. I get it. Okay. But instead of saying how awful the ex was, what about saying, well, we just didn't have a really good relationship. Something like that. So that you're taking the ownership for because it takes two people in a relationship. And a narcissist, they won't even give that an option, because they don't do anything wrong. They do nothing wrong, and they are not going to own up to anything. So of course their exes are going to be crazy, but really listen, because if you really just start, looking and thinking outside the box, they're probably not the crazy ex, because the narcissist is portraying them to be. You got to remember, this is the mindset of a narcissist. This is what the narcissist believes. It doesn't mean that it's reality, okay? So that's the thing. They believe their own lies. They believe their own thoughts. And usually it's not on the same level playing field as the rest of us who are normal and can figure stuff out without placing blame on everybody but ourselves, okay? Taking ownership for stuff that you do wrong is extremely humbling. And if I do something wrong or hurt somebody's feelings or whatever, and I apologize for that, I can't tell you how much better I feel, because I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you for pointing that out to me. I am sorry that I came across as harsh or a little, upset. It wasn't you. I was having a bad day. That's humility, okay? And narcissists don't have any clue what humility is. They know how to humiliate, but they don't know what humility is, all right? They put their entire blame on their past. They blame, again, their ex, then they blame their parents or their aunts or their uncles or where they lived or the town they grew up in. It's all that, that person's fault or the society's fault or, the environment that I was in. It's never, okay, what did you do to make your life better? No, not at all. This is another one that I didn't recognize right away, but they like everything you like. And thinking back, I remember the narcissist would say things like, I'd say, well, for example, go to dinner. Where do you want to go to dinner? I'll say, okay, let's go to Red Robin. He'd be like, awesome, that sounds great. Or I pick another restaurant. He agreed with me on everything. Instead of saying, Red Robin sounds great tonight, but I'm kind of feeling like a steak. So then the two people normally would come together and go, all right, well, let's go to Texas Roadhouse because they have steak and burgers and we're both happy, right? So they agree with everything because they want it to appear that you are so meaningful to them that they will drop everything that they want to do to cater to you. But that's just digging on in, getting back in, right? And just before you know it, this is how they play their game. It's terrible. They don't have a close relationship with people around them. They think they do. They think they do. They talk about having all these friends. And I remember the narcissist said, you have no idea how many people I know in the valley. Okay, in Arizona, we call the East Valley, West Valley, whatever, the valley of the sun. And he would say, I know this guy and I know this lady and I know this. He knew somebody for everything. If I needed a painter, he knew a painter. If I needed a tax guy or gal, he knew one of those. If I needed a banker, he knew that. I mean, no matter what I needed. Oh, I know so many people. And I'm just like, why do you need to brag about that? Because they don't like you. No, now I know that all these people he thought were his friends, they're not his friends. No. They tell stories to get you to feel sorry for them. The boo-hoo, the crying, oh, this happened to me and this is that. And half the stories that he told me, yes, I'm an empathetic person, so I have empathy for people that are sad or have been through shit in their life, okay? But now I look back and go, how many of these stories were actually true? I don't think many of them were, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, looking back, the entire relationship was a complete freaking lie. Everything about it was a lie. It was a lie. It was so bad. Most important, and I think men have the same intuition, but I think women have a very strong intuition. If your gut is telling you that this is not right, you're not feeling good about something that was said or something that he or she, did, pay attention to your gut, because it never lies. It never lies. So if you have that pit in your stomach that something's wrong, something's wrong. Definitely. I ignored that pit in my stomach and I just kept making excuses. Well, it's a bad day, and he didn't talk to his kids for a month, and I really feel sorry for him. But that's why these narcissists prey on empaths and people that have empathy, which is the majority of us, because narcissists don't know how to have empathy. And so what they do is they try to make you feel sorry for them, which works all the time because we care. We do. But we have to put those boundaries up to know who's lying, who's making up stories, who's telling the truth, who's being honest, and who's being dishonest. They are going to be dishonest all of the time. All right. So bragging is another one. Listen to the narcissist. How much do they brag that they know about this, that, or anything? Okay. I don't even want to go into how much he bragged about everything he did, jobs, where he lived, homes that he used to have, okay, doesn't have a home now, cars that he drove, the money that he had in the bank, the salary that he earned. All of this was bragging. But you know what? It didn't do anything for me, because I'm like, I don't really care what you had. Like, who cares? I'm not a materialistic person. If you think that is something to brag about, have at it, dude, because whatever. So anyway, so those are some things to look forward, or not forward to. Please don't look forward to those. Those are things to look for when you're in a relationship and it's moving fast. Watch out. Okay. All right. I'll be back soon. I've got a bunch of topics to talk to you guys about. Love and light to all of you. Thank you.